Hey guys, this is Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast. I'm your commissioner. This is our show tonight on Monday. We're having a good time. We're gonna have a few drinks, have a few conversations. We're gonna talk about Klaus the dog, Little Chief the dog. We're gonna talk about what we did on Halloween. We're gonna talk about what we're drinking tonight. By the way, if you haven't had any, my boys up at Best Sellers, they hooked me up with Lucky 7. I'm gonna tell you what, this is a 12-year. Holy hell, it is good, real good. Now it's a little bit pricey. Might not be for everybody, but it is solid. Probably one of the better bourbons I've had on the market recently. Has a lot of the warm vanillas that we all like. It has the almost has like a marshmallow taste, like when you're sitting there by the fire and you're roasting some marshmallows and you get that one that's a little bit charred on it. Oh my God, it has kind of like that. And of course the normal caramels and then the maple. Get that, and it's wonderful. With that being said, guys, because I did say it this time, since it's take two, just playing. Cheers to everybody. David, how are you doing? What are you drinking?
Doing well, sir. Doing well. Hope you can hear me okay. I'm a little bit back from the mic because I have a dog in my lap. I'm drinking the Highland Park 12-year Vikings Honor Scotch, which I know is one of not your favorites of any variety at all, Jody, but that's okay. It takes all kinds. This is a really, really nice Scotch. It's smooth. It's got a nice malt to it. You get a little citrus, a little honey on the palate. Nice, lightly spiced kind of finish, like a peppery spiced kind of a finish to it. Really good, great to sip on. Vastly superior to what I did last night, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But I'm drinking that, and also want to introduce, and because I may not be able to keep him with me the whole time because he's a puppy and I might have to take him out and stuff. We have Klaus the dog. Say hello, Klaus. This is Klaus the Keyshawn. We just got him yesterday. That was part of Halloween at our house. He's a Keyshawn puppy, I think about 2 months old.
How big they get?
About 40 pounds or so. This one might get up to like 45. They lost half the litter, which is sad. But the other side of that is the ones that made it are very, very well fed. And this guy is he's like a giant little, you can't see from it. His face is so fat, like you can barely see. Like his little eyes are like, because he's got such a fat, adorable little face.
So he looks like me when I get stung by a yellow jacket.
I can imagine. But anyway, let's go on to somebody else. Billy, what you drinking, sir?
Well, first of all, everybody, be good to yourself.
Nope, that's the rule.
Yeah.
By the way, we expounded on this rule real quick. It's called the Mao rule is the reason why we expounded on it. Only Billy can say be good to yourself, and we all have to drink.
Yes. Sounds good.
That was just a little fun. Yeah.
Sipping on a little Knob Creek rye. This is
nice.
Probably one of my good ryes that I really do enjoy. And along with that, I'm having myself a brick house. Just enjoying this beautiful Monday afternoon or Monday evening.
Yep. Hey, Rob, what about you? What are you doing? Is the dog behaving itself?
Yeah, she's staring at the walls, but she's doing okay.
Staring at the wall. She seems like a really intelligent dog. Go ahead. So, what you drinking on?
Tonight, I am drinking on Blood Oath Pack 6. This is the 2020 release. It's finished in a cognac barrel. Got some really good cherry notes. Still got a little bit of that vanilla. It finishes a little dry in the back of the throat, but overall, it's well worth the money I paid for this one.
Nice.
Very good bourbon.
Mao?
Tiny Rebel, Cali Pale, which is a California Pale Ale.
All right. Got through it again.
Poor bastard.
At least he freezes up in a great spot.
It'll make a great still frame.
He's got a good cheers going on there, you know?
The whiskey.
There we go. It's the English.
I'm drinking the English whiskey, which is interesting. It's a wine cask matured 8-year-old single malt whiskey, small batch release. First one to come out of England in a very, very long time.
How is it?
And I will be switching up to this glass. But it's pleasant, it's fruity, it's light. It has almost no nose on it, which I'm disappointed at. But the taste and the finish is quite light, quite fruity, quite refreshing. But not what I'm used to. But very nice.
Nice. Hey, speaking of notes on this, when you the nose on this is it has a matter of fact, it has almost very like Sweetens Cove nose on it. It's pretty like the nose on it will bite you a little bit, like you can feel it. And by the way, it's 100 proof, so it's going to put some hair on those places that you might need some hair. Obviously not on my head, but on other places that might need there. So we won't go to whiskey because he's probably been drinking all day. So we'll just let him just do his thing and just sit there and stare at us aimlessly. By the way, for those of you guys who love the barbecue sauce from Cafe 305, you might see that face soon right there that might be on the bottle of the new bourbon-inspired Cafe 305 Whiskey Rebellion barbecue sauce. And we're super stoked about that. Great partnership with it. And currently, for all the bottles you buy, the half of the purchases are all going straight back into the company. So you're investing in the company itself. So for everything you buy, you're buying right straight back into the company. And I think that is absolutely fabulous. I love that. And that was something that Billy and I discussed. And I said, hey, let's just put it all back into it. And it looks like Mark's going to join us. Hey, another thing I want to talk about real quick is if there's somebody out there that likes Joseph Magnus, and specifically the sherry and cognac version of it, become part of the VIP. And now it's an open bottle, so I'll have to make it all nice and wonderful for you, but I'll send it to you. I'll just send you the bottle. And it's a high dollar bottle. I've only had like, I don't know, not very many drinks out of it. I'll be perfectly honest with you, but I'm literally trying to get rid of it. I was going to give it to my friend Billy. I might give it to Mark if he likes that kind of stuff. But it is an open bottle, but it will be sealed up so you can get it. And there won't be any additives added to it. I actually seen some of the few yesterday. And so a funny story on the going to bestsellers yesterday, because that's who hooked me up with the Lucky Sevens. I have a couple places, but it's one of my two big places I go to. So I was in there. I'm on the phone with Billy, and then I'm on the phone with Mark, and I'm trying to get their stuff and this, that, and whatever, because I'm picking up a bottle for Mark. I found it, and I literally was laying in bed when he was like, hey, can you get this? I'm like, send it to my guy. And my guy was like, no, man, you're about 2 weeks too late. I've already sold 2 boxes. So I reached out to my other guy, and he was like, I got 2 left. And I'm like, en route, man. And I did. Within 30 minutes, I had the bottle, and it's packaged up in a box going to Mark in the morning. And while I was there, I was trying to find Billy what he wants and things of that nature. But either way, it was a fun story. But the fun part about it was my wife was with me. She was like, you're like a mafia don. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like the guy, like every time he told you something, you're like, and I'm gonna get it at my price, right? And he was like, oh yeah, yes, Mr. Lamont, you're gonna get it at your price. And so she collected all this, and she was telling Mark about it on the way home, and she was like, were you gonna beat them up or something if they didn't provide it at your price? I'm like, it's not that. It's just we have a relationship, and I should be able to get it at the price of relationships rather than the price of somebody who doesn't have a relationship with them. But I'm okay with the Mafia Don aspect as long as the feds aren't looking for me for anything. But I will tell you, one of the greatest things I love about this show and this collaboration of work between all of us getting together, other than just the fun personalities and things of that nature, it's actually the networking we've done. Like I've gotten bottles from Billy. I'm allegedly going to get a bottle from Rob at some point. I've gotten bottles from Mark. And I'm sending bottles back, and we're doing these whole trading, and it's great to be able to build networking and relationships with people, not to disclude, the barbecue sauce, because that was a ginormous thing too. When he was like, "Hey, I got something I want you to try," and I'm like, so he sends us these like blank sample barbecue sauce, and they were sealed professionally, and I was like, okay, well, this is okay. I'm okay with this. But initially, I was like, I don't know about this. This is some kind of random bottle you're sending me. But anyway, it was fabulous. But I mean, this is what I'm talking about, the relationships we built as a team here. And so that's been freaking huge. So, Mark, what are you drinking, brother?
What's up, my brothers?
What's
Sorry I'm
up?
late. I had to move some stuff around a little bit, but I'm here. So I am actually drinking good old Elijah Craig. This is a store pick from a another cigar bar here in the Phoenix area called Magnums. Elijah Craig is always a staple, and store picks are always, to me, barrel picks are always better. So
I would have to agree with you. Whenever you get a good store, well, if you have a great relationship with a store and you pick up a good store pick, whew, that is, and sometimes you can get them at great prices too. Like
yeah.
like the barrel pick of the Maker's Mark that you wanted, that
Yeah.
I'm sending you. I already have a bottle. That is the best Maker's Mark I've ever had, and period. It is on fire. I think yours is the one I'm sending you is 100. It's really sealed up. So
Yeah.
and I'm sending you some stoppers too, because you wanted the Blanton stoppers. So
My dad will
so
love it. Thank you.
I think we'll be pretty square after this, because I was looking up the stoppers online, and they're not cheap to buy. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know they even sold that much.
Oh, really?
I have literally like 100 stoppers around the house.
Oh, wow.
I have
Okay.
I have another bag up here of stoppers, but I was trying not to give you a whole bunch of the same ones. I was just giving you some random letters that that I had 2 of,
Okay.
So
Yeah.
What's
You know
the
what?
deal with the
Speaking of,
Blanton stoppers? I don't know. I'm not the Blantons guy. So what's the deal with the stoppers?
well, you can spell out Blanton's. All right. So if you
Okay.
spell out Blanton's and then you send in the stoppers into Buffalo Trace, they will send you back. I have 2 sets of them that are completed, but they'll send you back it's one of the cleats from the barrel that has the stoppers in it. They'll be mounted, and they'll mount them for you for free and send it to you. So, and it's on a Blanton's like cleat, so it's pretty
hey
freaking
man,
cool.
for that. Okay.
And then my
Speaking of,
favorite stopper actually comes from Caribou. This one right here is solid. I mean, look
That's
at
pretty
that.
awesome.
I mean, I want to kill that. I want to eat that, and then of course I want to mount it. I mean, it's awesome.
Also, listen, guys. Anybody out there watching? There's gonna be some random bottles of Cafe 305 barbecue sauce going out to whoever. I don't know. I'm not packaging it. I'm not responsible for that part of it. But you're gonna find the bottle, and one of the bottles, the labels is upside down. And if you happen to get that bottle with an upside down label, you're gonna get a fan pack, which includes a hat, a T-shirt, and a wristband. So just be on the lookout for it. Like I said, I don't pack them. I tuck a bottle of each one, put a label upside down. It'll just end up in your package. If you get it, send me a picture, and you get a fan pack.
Real quick,
That's awesome.
can we purchase the hats, the bracelets, or the shirts anywhere online? And if so, where?
You can cafe305bbq.com, and you can purchase the hats, the T-shirts, and the wristbands.
Boom, that's awesome.
Can
That's
you get
awesome.
the barbecue sauce there? Or is it just
Absolutely.
a fan store? Okay, wanted to double check, because I'm getting ready to put in an order myself.
Us on the back channel though, we just
Okay.
go straight to the guy. We go to his Venmo account and like boom. I need
That
this.
that I'm
If
aware of,
somebody-
but it's for the listener to hear that they know where to
course.
get your sauce.
But I
at.
still want to understand. I still want
I'm
our
helping.
people-
I'm helping.
but I still want our listeners to understand, if you become part of the VIP chat, which one of my buddies, military buddies, John Snyder, will hopefully be on Wednesday. He became part of it today. It's that's a good time, man. We have some random. I mean, you can hear about Clear Eyes, and all of us want to hear about that. And then you have just some random nonsense, and then you have my favorite of today was Sir James can't make it because he's gambling and he's got football games and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there going, so like, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. can you change people out like in the middle of the game? Can you go like, hey, look, can you call up the coach and say, hey, look, my guy,
Right.
I have him on fantasy. Is he? You see
I
what
need
I'm
to
saying?
upgrade. I need to upgrade my fantasy league.
Now, yeah, if I could do that, it would be a whole different game.
I was
Right.
just like, so I wanted to respond to that, but I was like, but I didn't. But you have conversations like that, and then you have occasional flies on a butt. That
Yes.
happens on occasion. And then we just have a lot of fun. By the way, exciting news here at the house of Mr. Lamons until next month, and then it'll be of Dr. Lamons. Anyhow, some exciting news. It is now Hallmark Christmas time. And I
Yes.
absolutely love the Hallmark Christmas movies. I know every one of them is about as assless chaps gay as it can possibly be, but I love them. All right. I think they're great. I know I want the life like they have. I want to live there, wherever they're at. And you know what? I want to have that every day. I just do. Matter of fact, when my wife and I plan trips during the holidays to go someplace, it's like, but does it look like Hallmark? Because if it doesn't look like Hallmark, I don't want to go. Yeah.
Bah humbug.
It's like
I do want to watch. They have one I want to watch that has Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. I do want to see that one. Just because she's.
Yes, I've seen that one. That is a good one.
Oh, it's known already?
Yes, it's already out. And then there's you can get if you go online, you can get the list.
Well,
Okay.
If you missed it, they'll just do another movie with the same cast and the same plot like a week later, and they change like one thing about it.
You know, honestly, I don't need your negativity in my life. That's what I like. All right. I like to.
You'll see her again. You'll see her
like
like 8 more times and 8 more.
Yeah.
Movies.
I like to shoot animals. I like to drink bourbon, and I like to watch Hallmark Channel. I do.
Okay.
I just love it. It is what it is. If you want to talk bad about me, you want to send angry stuff, it's David Papayan on Facebook.
First of all, I say not Papayan.
Who cares? Sound it
So
out.
You can send
It'll
it to
come
David
close.
Papayan. Yes, go ahead.
But anyway, hey, so a funny story yesterday. So yesterday afternoon, the wife and I are cleaning out the pool is covered. It's closed for winter, but it has a cover on it, so it gets a little bit. We had rain this past week, so we got water on it, and of course we live out in the country. There's a lot of trees, had leaves on it, so we're cleaning that off. So I am on the back porch. We have the dogs out there on the back porch, and she's on the other side of the pool, cleaning off this stuff, and I'm blowing everything off with the leaf blower. So I'm blowing off the deck, doing my thing. All right, and all of a sudden I see out of the corner of my eye my dog, little Chief Murphy. He's all 14 to 20 pounds of him. He's right over here. And I'm like, and he's just, I don't know what he's doing. He's acting like a fool. Anyway, so he decides that he's going to jump over the flow of the air. All right. Swear to everything holy. He jumped over, the air caught him and pushed him to the middle of the pool. All right. So this little bitty tiny miniature husky goes from he literally jumps like a cougar, like 12 feet or 8 feet probably, into the center of the pool where he lands. And my wife's like, get out of the pool. I'm like, I can't. I'm trying to get him out of the pool too, and she's like, I can't believe he got in the pool after I told him not to get in the pool. And I'm like, I don't know that he intentionally done that. I think I might have had something to do with that. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, see, I was blowing, and I watched him try to jump the air, and when he did, it caught him broadside, and then it was just like one of those like scary movies where like they tug on the end of their leg and pull him out of bed or something. It was almost like that, and it just like threw him straight into the pool. And he landed, and his feet kind of sunk a little bit, and he got a little bit of the the rainwater on him. And he looked at me like, dude, I hate you. I absolutely hate you. This is not my fault. And then he got out of the pool. And then he sat over there and he was like trying to lick himself dry and all this stuff, which to me doesn't make any sense to lick yourself dry. Let's just say that works. So he's over there licking himself dry, and he's just giving me this evil look the whole time. He's like, and I'm like, dude, it's not my fault. You knew I was blowing off the deck.
Yeah.
Why did you feel like that was your position to jump?
Listen, I wanted to see that logical conversation with the dog.
Right.
There's no logic. It's all illogical.
Did you sleep okay last night? Did he come in?
So that's funny you bring that up. So last night I'm in the bed and my wife absolutely hates horror movies. All right. She won't do them. So I had to persuade her. And I'm not sure what I gave up yet, but I probably gave up something for her to watch a horror movie with me. And so she was like, and so she's like, just don't, nothing really scary. So I'm like, well, we'll watch The Conjuring 2. All right. Which is really scary, by the way. So, so what's that, David?
I said I want to see that. I haven't seen The Conjuring.
Oh my
movies.
God. It's both of them are really good. And allegedly they're based off true stories. I doubt they're any true, but allegedly. All right. So anyway, so so we're watching it and she hates it. And I will give it absolutely 10 stars out of 10 stars every time. It is a great movie. Both of them, the first one and the second one, are fabulous. So anyway, one of the things that bothered her about it was always the guy or the possession staring at somebody sleeping. So last night, in the middle of the night, and if I didn't see this, I wouldn't have swore it never happened. So last night, the dogs sleep with us, or we should say we sleep with the dogs, because I think they own the bed, all combined weight of 35 pounds. So anyway, who look like two ginormous fat sows in the bed when they're sleeping, because they can't get into a little ball. They have to sleep like fully spread out, like a teenage kid does, So anyway, in the middle of the night last night, I wake up and my dog is sitting at the end of the bed staring at the both of us. All right. And so I immediately kind of giggle a little bit, but I don't think my wife's awake. And then all of a sudden she wakes up and she goes, "This is your fault. Do something about that." And so, and then she looks at Chief and she's like, "Why are you staring at me, weirdo?" And then he jumps off the bed and she's like, "You need to go deal with this." I'm like, "Deal with him? What do you want me to do with him?" I mean, and what was funny was it wasn't just Chief. Winston started doing this whole staring into the kitchen for no apparent reason, like just staring, like into a blank space. And of course that has to be demonic in nature. Well, this morning at 4:00, because that was 5:00, we rolled back our time. I don't know if you guys do that over in England, Mal, but we roll back our time, and so and it's like midnight dark outside right now. Really pretty star over there. But anyway, so this morning at 4:00, I hear something, and then I'm on my side, and so I'm looking at the window, and all of a sudden I see the curtain move like this. And I'm like, what the hell? So I look up. I mean, it has nothing to do whether I believe in poltergeist or not. It's the simple fact of I want to see what it is. So I look, and sure enough, my dog is sitting down there at the bottom, right below the curtain, and he had stuck his head in there and moved it sideways just so he could see out the window. And I'm like, what are you staring at? It's 4:00 outside. There's nothing to see outside.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna be able to see more than 10 feet outside. And out here in the country, it's really dark at night. David knows, he's been out here at night, so it's dark. So, but
country dark.
Yeah, country dark. So that was my Halloween. We had a great time. We had I live in the country. I literally had one trick or treater.
Okay.
So that was me.
Last night, I decided I'm gonna organize my garage, get things in order, make the flow a little bit better. And I live in suburbia hell, so I had some candy ready, little bags of candies, whatever, giving out candies. And probably, I want to say about 9:30 last night, about 4 teenage kids, I guess either coming or going to some Halloween party, walk up to my door or walk up to the garage and ask for candy. I said, "Really, guys?" I said, "All right, whatever. I'll give them each a bag of candy." And one of the kids looked at me and said, "Hey, by any chance you have any weed?" I'm like, "What? What?
The hell are the baby kids?
Yeah, I put Mary Jane's in your bag. You're good.
but here's what's the kicker though. As I'm sitting here organizing my garage, there's my Jeep, my wife's car, and then my wife's police car. And I'm like, you know, you just can't.
I mean, we all know
underestimate
the cops have the best weed. Come on.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking to
I used to
myself.
be a cop, man. You know that.
I'm like, yeah. I'm glad I wasn't that stupid. I know I was stupid as a teenager, but I wasn't that stupid.
Hell no. Hold on. There's a Blood Oath sighting. Blood Oath sighting.
Oh, you wasn't here. He had already said he's drinking blood oath.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
All right.
I
So
have
Mark,
two. I
what'd you
haven't
do
opened.
last night?
I did nothing. I zoomed with some cigar buddies from home, and after that, fell asleep. I was gonna say watch TV, but the TV was watching me. So
Yeah, I woke up at 12, turned TV off because it was watching me.
yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Mal, I seen your pictures online. What'd you do?
Yeah.
So we so since COVID, we have like a street fund, if you like. We so Sharon and another one of the girls in the streets, with a little help from our partners, like me being one of them, run kind of lotto games and a little sort of fundraising thing, so people can win money, win, you know, prizes, sweet hampers, you know, that kind of thing. And we raise money. Since lockdown, I haven't had a great deal to do, so we use that money to hire bounce houses and pay for treats. And so, you know, we make hot dogs, we give out candy and soda pop and stuff like that, which we done on the last bank holiday. So we continue to do that, and we had a Halloween party for the kids in the street last night. So I got dressed up as Michael Myers and delivered sweets to the kids rather than them come around the houses. We made up bags of sweets. So we had popcorn in plastic gloves made to look like they were holding bags of candy, and we bought all that in, made up the bags for them, and then delivered them around the street. One of the girls up the street was handing out hot dogs, soup, teas, coffees. There were the occasional adult beverages, sodas.
Occasional.
And well, you know me. So yeah, and nothing actually that we gave out, that we gave the kids last night cost them anything, because we sort of hold back 10% of the winnings for the little games that we play in the street, and we've done it all through a little private Facebook group. So it was awesome. Loads of people in the street got dressed up. We had fire pits in the front gardens, so you know everybody could see each other. We dressed the houses. It was cool. It was really cool. Did you like the photo? Did you like the photo of the balloon? That was
Man, we're losing you there. But we were saying about the balloons. I want to know how that went.
Oh, the balloons. Yes, we like that. That was hilarious.
You sound like
I saw that, and I was like, yeah, somebody driving by will be like, what in the actual hell is this?
There was a picture that was put on one of the bourbon pages last year, or maybe a year or so ago, and it had the balloon on it. What?
Video. Mal, you haven't caught up yet.
Yeah, but anyway, so there was a picture that was put on the
There you
bourbon pages a couple of years ago, that was of the balloon, and it was right there at the storm drain, and it shows this guy, and he goes, he's been down or this little girl been down looking at it, and was like, and Pennywise is saying, we had Pappy back there, or all this whatever this is, and then all of a sudden the next picture you see like this person getting in. I sent it to my wife. I was like, that's me. I mean, Pennywise has got the goods. I'm getting in.
Got the Pappy. I'm diving in.
Yep.
We have Blantons.
Well, I have plenty of Blantons.
Yeah.
Rob?
What about you, Rob? What you do last night?
I watched college football.
Who'd you
Amen.
watch? Because I couldn't find anything interesting to watch when it came to college football.
You know what? I don't even remember. It was there was not anything really that good on.
I almost watched the Navy SMU game just because but then we decided to watch Conjugan too. But I was watching the Alabama game for about 15 minutes. And I was like, all right, so we're up 31-0 in the Alabama game. All right, so that's great. All right, so
we're in my area, you know, I'm just at a really kind of a dead end of the street. There's like 3 houses, 4 houses at kind of my end of the street. Further up, there's a bunch of houses, but a bunch of people who don't have young kids.
Yeah.
I haven't had a trick or treater even venture down my driveway in 15 years.
Oh wow.
So
You're probably scared.
we just my wife went to a Halloween party at a friend's, and I just had no desire to like even attempt to put any kind of a costume on. I raked leaves most of the day yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna order some pizza. I'm gonna watch whatever college football games are on, or flip back and forth between them, and that's what I did.
You know, there's in every neighborhood there's a story that the kids tell each other about a particular house. I think that's your house in that neighborhood.
so
the guy who doesn't turn his light on ever.
it's like, that guy must be a pedophile.
Oh
wow, that hurt.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it like you are.
That's all I need to get out there right now. Huh?
Well, no, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that that's what we said. That's what we said. We said, well, we called them jesters back then. But the people that had their lights turned off were like their court order to not have their light on. Can't go to the house. You know, so that's the reason why. So I'm just saying what we were talking about. There's those kids that are talking about. I want to give some backstory to it. That's the reason why. And probably none of those were true. It's probably some people going, look, I just hate kids, because I can relate with them now. I'm like we had one grouping of kids that came over, and the only one I could think of was the kid that looked like he just put on some random clothes in his house. And so Tamara was like, so what are you supposed to be dressed up at? And he goes, well, you see, I was there was a bunch of I didn't know what to wear, so I just threw on some random clothes, and I'm just going to look like I'm homeless. And honestly, I was like, yeah, I can see that. I really can. I mean,
I get it.
I mean,
Just
don't
the
get me
job you
wrong.
want.
Your brother and sister, one's a fireman, one's a princess, and you're homeless. I see that the most. I really do. I really do. Really do. I
And
find
with
it.
that being said, guys,
You grown.
be good to yourself.
There you go.
Back up.
There you go.
So Billy, you can say that all night long, because I am on vacation.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
I'm good. I'm good to go all night long.
Now that's
Real
now
quick,
he's
Billy,
happy.
you
Now
cannot
he's got a
say
smile
that.
on his face.
Billy, you can't say that whole night long, because that's not how I like to drink. I still got to go grill some steaks here shortly, so no. Anyway, so outside of whiskey down there staring at me for no apparent reason, just like angrily staring at me. So I live in the country. I think we've already established that. So there's this ginormous groundhog that lives on my property with me. All right, I'm talking about like he's bigger than my dogs. All right, he's every bit of 45 pounds. He may not be 45 pounds, but he looks like it. He's fat as fill in the blank, like just a big. All right, so I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, he eats good. Well, see, I put out corn, so he's eating corn right now and stuff like that. And I was like,
You fatten him up?
well, let me finish my story here. So anyway, so I see him out there today, and my wife sees him too, and she's like, that groundhog's eating all your corn. I'm like, well, it is what it is. I wonder if you can eat those. So I Google search it. Dude, there's like 20,000 recipes for eating groundhog. And like everybody loves it. And so I'm like, I'm gonna kill a groundhog. I'm absolutely gonna do it. So that fat bastard's getting ready to die this week. All right. So I could have killed him earlier today, but she was like, this is her reason. She goes, do you want to spend the rest of the afternoon skinning it and cleaning it? I'm like, on a Sunday when it's beautiful outside and you got homework and stuff to do? I'm like, no. She goes, well, then let it live today. I'm like, oh, yeah, you make good sense there. So anyway,
Double
so
portion of corn.
so and what's funny is I'm sitting there watching him, and like he gives literally no F's at all. He just walks over to he looks at the house and he's like, corn, eating it like that, and he just looks at me,
It's
and he
gonna
don't
be like a Caddyshack thing.
so yeah, he doesn't turn or anything. He just sits there and he picks up the corn. And he's like that, and he's just eating it right there in front of me. He has zero cares at all. Like he's like, hey, by the way, I live under your barn. Just letting you know, that's where I live, under your barn. I'm like, yeah, we've known that for like 6 months.
Yeah, right.
And he just keeps getting fatter because he was eating out of my garden. And my wife was like, why don't you kill the groundhog? I'm like, he's kind of cute and I can't eat him. But now that I found there's plenty of recipes for it and it's like a delicacy, the dude's got like a limited scale of how long he's going to live between now and Friday. Like if I see him tomorrow.
Listen, you better be careful. You better hope he hasn't hacked into your Wi-Fi and is watching this, because he's been like, you know what?
He got Wi-Fi.
This dude's got problems. I'm out.
All of that could be very well true. I mean, he could absolutely be like that. Be like, oh, this guy. Oh, he's going to try to kill me.
He's tunneled under your house right now. He's got a little beret on, like he's French resistance.
He's got one. What it is I know where all of my Boston Scally hats are at. He's probably got one of my son's Boston Scally hats on. And he's like, I got the Ted on.
He's like, I am not afraid.
Not afraid. He's like, I know you did 20 years in the military, but I've been digging in your yard for at least 6 months and you hadn't done anything about it. So why are you going to do something now?
I've watched you try and shoot those turkeys. I've got to have every chance in the world.
First of all, that's not true.
Well,
I never got the opportunity. I never got the opportunity to shoot the turkey in my first season ever hunting a turkey. I never got the opportunity to shoot the turkey. All right. However, you can sit there and make all kind of. Hey, at least we can own guns. All right.
Ooh.
I mean, you guys just said, you know what? We'll bend over and just take it. But anyhow,
just hit people with sticks. It's great. It's much more fun.
Subtitles. What'd you say?
He said he hits him with a stick or something like that.
It's much more fun.
Much more fun.
Okay, sure.
Really,
Anyhow,
here's my question: is if you get this groundhog and you
not
just
if it will
pick
happen
up,
this week.
okay, so if and when you get this
Not
groundhog,
if. Take if out of your sentence.
let me
I
finish my
prefer
sentence.
grammatically correct.
When?
It is grammatically correct. You're just
No, it's not
you're
if.
saying it's
There's no
accurate.
if.
Okay, when you get this groundhog,
you.
do you feel better
Thank you,
now?
David.
Okay,
Thank you, David.
if and when you get this groundhog,
Negative. when I get the groundhog.
what I want to know is when you cook it up, are you going to use Cafe 305?
Well, see, yes, I will. First of all,
Does it
Oh,
go
of
on
course.
groundhog? That's what I want to know.
Well, we're going to find out, but I think the answer is yes. Here's what you do. You have to, the first thing you have to do is you have to soak it in half vinegar and water for 24 hours with an onion in it, or 12 hours, I'm sorry, with an onion in it. So when I get it, I'm gonna skin it, pull those glands out of it, bam, put it into a pot with its little feet sticking up and they're all bob wired together because I'm gonna wire them all together and just put it in the pot and let it sit. And then so it can soak through with the vinegar and stuff. And then I'm gonna probably make it into a stew is what I prefer to do with it. And you put a lot of
Low and
vegetables
slow.
in it. Yep. And then put it in a slow cooker. Boom, let it do its thing. It just falls off and just eat it.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Oh, when I read the things online about it, I was like, and we're talking about some high class people who are posting about eating, how it's a delicacy to eat groundhog, and they're super clean because they're vegetarians. And I was like, that fat bastard in the backyard is not a vegetarian. He looks like he's eating like a dog. All right. I mean, that thing looks like it's either carrying around a suitcase or another groundhog on it all the time. I mean, he's
Well,
ginormous.
you know, you given it a name, Fat Bastard. So now
There you
it's
go.
official. You can
Yeah.
you can put that on the
He hits his stomach. He
Fat
like,
Bastard.
fat bastard.
Is it Scottish?
I don't know if he's Scottish or not. He just digs holes. Get in my stomach, my belly. Yeah, get in my belly. So anyway,
When you, so I'll be grammatically correct. When you get this groundhog, Jody,
Mhm.
how are you going to know when winter starts?
Or you mean when it ends?
when
Is
it
that
ends,
Oh, when it ends, sorry. Yeah, I got that wrong.
I don't really pay any attention to that. Mary Mays on News Channel 2. She's my girl I watch. She is,
Mentioned that before, yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You need to Google search her. She's
I
quite,
already have.
she's quite hippie. I like it. Dude, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I do still
Oh,
live in my house.
can't start that conversation and not
I hear you.
finish it.
Look, I'm not gonna
Listen,
go there
especially-
or the Dirty Rabbit. That's where I'm ending the
Oh.
conversation.
No. Listen, just like you told David, it's not a matter of if, it's when. So when it comes to Dirty Rabbit, it's not if you're going, it's when you go.
When?
Not on the
I
recording.
never
saying
said
to
anything about
Billy,
you going.
Billy, I
you-
need you to use
yes.
if. I need you to use if on the recording.
So you're saying you're saying
I just
you're
heard.
the
I just heard
finance-
when.
It's when we drag your carcass into the Dirty Rabbit. I will
Damn.
then record it and post it. Jody tied to the stripper pole at the Dirty Rabbit.
So now it has a stripper pole in it. You told me this was a high class establishment named
I like
Dirty
Jody,
it.
Rabbit.
you should see the size of the groundhogs in there, honestly.
I'm just glad it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
moose knuckles you're seeing there.
Oh God.
Camel hooves.
I'm telling you, when we do our hangover special here in Miami, Jody's gonna
Yes.
be hot.
Real quick,
to
that is a
stripper
true
pole.
story. I think David missed that. We are going to do sometime when COVID clears and we can all get together. We have agreed. Initially, it was like, let's go to Vegas. I'm like, I'm not doing Vegas, dude. That place smells like some kind of strawberry like cologne, perfume, or whatever stripper women or prostitutes wear.
Smells like
And
glitter.
And
Unicorn farts. That's the smell you're trying to describe.
I don't know what that is, but it's horrible. All right.
Wow.
And it smells like cigarettes and it's hot as balls, like sweaty freaking balls. All right. It's hot. And I know this because I have balls and they get sweaty and they're hot. And these are not things I want to participate in. However, so Billy was like, hey, let's do it down at in Miami. I'm like, I like the beach. We could do that. I could do that. So at some point, hopefully next year, not during the time I'm swimming with the sharks that we were talking about for 2 weeks, when I'm down there doing some actual real research and stuff of that nature. Outside of that, I hope that we spend at least a long weekend as a crew, all of us, down there in the Miami-Dade area. And the fortunate thing is we do know some local law enforcement to help us prevent us from getting
Hangover.
Yes.
Rhubarb.
Well, I was thinking without Vaseline. That's what I was thinking. And so I'm hoping that we'll have a good experience, and though we're not going to the Dirty Rabbit.
I am.
And why?
I'll
Real
follow-
quick, why hasn't the Dirty Rabbit
follow
started
Instagram.
sponsoring us yet?
No, right?
Listen, we keep this up. I guarantee you, we'll be at the. And listen, they got a hell of a bar. They got a hell of a bourbon selection. I promise you, the Dirty Rabbit might not be too far behind. You know. And I
They've
promise
got a hell of
this,
an Instagram account. I know that.
Do they? Oh,
Oh yeah.
and I promise you,
Need
Mark's
to
like, I'll be back.
I need to investigate this.
when we do the 1 year Miami special, I guarantee you, every last one of you are gonna leave here at least 15 pounds heavier. And then we'll all be.
Well, I mean, I've seen what you eat like 3 times a day, and I'm like, there's matter of fact, this when you had that surf and turf you did yesterday, I was
Man,
like,
that looked
I
good.
saw that.
it looked freaking fabulous. I showed my wife, and both of us said pretty much the same time. It's like, how is Billy not 400 fucking pounds?
Right.
Like, how's that possible? I mean, what kind of physics are you using? I mean,
Listen, it's
are they? I don't understand it. Like, are you eating this all by yourself? And like, who makes a lunch like that and then follows it up with a dinner?
Someone who likes to, be good to themselves, as I understand it.
Well, we can't drink unless he said
We're
it.
not drinking it. We're not drinking. I'm just pointing it out.
Unless he said
Listen, I will say this. I do eat quite well. I myself do not know why I'm not 400 pounds.
Your
But,
metabolism
you
must
know,
be like it must be sitting there going, "Oh, for the love of God, I can't spin any faster than this."
Here we go again.
I think Ben's got more than one metabolism.
Yeah, you got a baby squirrel inside your pocket or something. What's going on? You got a midget living in your belly? I'm sorry, small person. You got a small person living in your belly?
it's crazy because I can easily eat like 6 full meals every day, like
No, I know. I
pressure.
watched, and that's the reason why I stopped watching your videos. I'm like, I want to watch every one of them because I love my boy, love him. And now I look at him and I'm like, first of all, he starts off with "Be good to yourself" and he has a drink. I'm like, dude, I'm in the bath and it's like 7 something in the morning, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I got cock and balls hanging out everywhere, and and I don't have a drink, and if I start, this is gonna be bad, and whatever it might be, and then I'm like, I don't know, we'll say 15 minutes later, but it's probably closer to 2 hours later. He does another video. And he's like, "This is what I'm having for lunch," and I'm like, "Really? How did you digest the breakfast?"
Right.
And then like what seems like, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes, which is probably closer to 2.5 hours, 3 hours. He's like, "This is what we're having for dinner." I'm like, "What?" He doesn't say we're. This is what I'm having for dinner. And I look at it, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, and of course the hashtag "Be good to yourself," and I'm like, that's not good to me. Like I would not be able to breathe after that. Like my stomach is rebelling and going, "Hey, you haven't eaten breakfast yet," and no, that's where we stand. No.
Well, my stomach is like, "Hey, what's next, asshole?"
Yeah, I bet your stomach is. Like, but we don't all have a stomach that's lined with gold food every day.
Right.
Like you're the 1%er of food.
Billy's stomach screaming, "Be good to me! Be good to me!"
Yeah, exactly. My stomach's sitting over here going, "Bring out your dad. Bring out your dad."
Listen, I get text messages from Costco and email. "Hey, you coming in this week, right?"
Man.
I bet you get text messages from them going, "Hey, look, we just need to know what you're making so we can put it on like the Billy's special over here, because people that follow your page, they're all going to want to make whatever the hell you're making. It won't be nearly as good. They don't really care because they don't know any better. But it's what we want to, and we want to be able to know what we need to do for this week so we can up the prices." By the way, I got like a, no lie, I got like a 40-pound. No, it's probably not true. 30-pound brisket today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, it is, and for $23. All right.
How you cooking it, man?
Well, hold on a second. You've been over here when I made brisket.
No, I know that it's so that you can say it out loud.
Oh, okay.
I'm feeding
So anyway,
questions, man.
All right. So I like to slow cook
Christ.
brisket. Obviously this one's going to be more than one crock pot, but slow cooker. But I like to slow cook it and cook it all day long, and then have it that way. That is the best. And when I made, I don't know, 12-pound that I made last time, there was 2 crock pots too. It was gone, and within, no one got seconds. Let's put it that way. I was like, I really was not expecting that, because I got screwed over because my friends ate all the food. I only got 1 helping, and I really wanted 4.
I think it was like the second week we had moved into this house. I had just got a brand new smoker, and I had put it out in front of the house. And I did 3 briskets, wrapped them in paper, and I started it probably like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I kid you not, by like 2:30 in the afternoon, I had neighbors from like 2 blocks away.
You had new friends.
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, we followed the smell to your house." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, come have some." I mean, listen, people were sprawled out in my driveway because they was just like,
Well, I mean, I've seen you the way you cook. I mean, you're definitely a professional. I feel really good about the one experience I had with brisket. But anyway, what it was is went to K Rogers and my wife did, and they had it on there for like 60 something dollars. But if you had the Kroger card, you could get it for $23. And I was like,
Damn.
Yep.
yeah.
And the only thing she said negative about it was I wish I'd bought two.
Wow.
And I agree with her. I
At
mean,
that
I do,
price,
but at the
yeah.
same time, I didn't really know if we need to drive back down there. You know,
That's right. You
Maybe.
break it down, you freeze it, you freeze some chunks. You don't need to cook all 30 at one time.
No, I will
but you
cut
know,
it in half. I will cut it in half and make some of it probably for Thanksgiving. I'm not a big turkey eater. I don't really like turkey, to be honest with you, unless I killed it. And since I haven't killed one yet, that hasn't been a real option.
Mal.
Uh-oh.
The shade.
You can sit here and say all the kind of nonsense you can, but at the end of the day, I shoot really well. I have a lot of guns, and you know the reason why I say all that out loud? Because I can.
Yep.
At least for 2 more days.
but you know,
Oh.
it's like you were saying in the beginning, Jody, how important relationships are, because I actually have a personal relationship with the butcher at Costco. And when I come in and I see him, I'm like, listen, I'm not worried about, tell me what you got in the back. And like he
Dude, I
would
say
give me
that all the
tomahawk
time.
steaks.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I say it all the time. I don't have the relationship like that at Costco by any means. We do have a Costco account, my wife and I. My neighbor he invited us over when they first moved in. We invited him over for dinner, and then we fed him a few other times. And he was like, "Hey, we need to reciprocate the relationship here. So I want to have you over for dinner and stuff like that." And he's first of all, my neighbor Will, I love that guy more than anything. That guy is awesome. He is solid. And anyway, so and his wife watches the show, and she's a witch. She told us.
Wicked. Okay.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
She told me she's like, I'm gonna make sure you don't kill any deer. I'm like, what? Okay. Well, tell my gun, because that motherfucker's gonna kill something.
That motherfucker's gonna kill Fat Bastard. Huh?
No, actually, I was thinking about that because I was reading online. They're like, you should shoot it with a 22. I'm like,
I was gonna say probably 22. Yeah.
I was like, I got nothing that small, nothing at all. Like, you come to this house, you break in, you're gonna get killed with some big arsenal. All right, like the smallest weapon I have is honestly the smallest weapon I have is a 9mm. It's right. It's in my desk.
22. Yeah.
No, I have a crossbow that moves at 470 feet per second, and it has these ginormous broadheads on them now. Since I had my deer incident, I went and got some broadheads on it. That I'll be honest with you, carrying the broadheads by themselves was like, oh my God, this feels like I'm carrying like a pocket full of razors. I mean, they are so sharp that like you're screwing it on and you're like here's the broadhead and you're like,
cut your fingers.
I don't want to cut my finger, dude. It looks like a razor
turn
blade.
the shaft of the arrow. You just hold the arrowhead. Maybe turn the shaft of the arrow.
No, you don't want to hold the arrowhead because any type of torque at all will cut your fingers. That's how sharp they are. So you have to hold. You have to hold either the point or underneath it, and I chose to hold underneath it to get the broadhead to where I could fully get in there.
They make gloves so you don't get cut when you're holding shit.
No, I have some of those too when I was a police officer, because you'd always get those people like when I was a police officer. It's the funniest thing ever. I had and Williamson County had the largest. This is no lie. Still true today. I had the largest methamphetamine bust ever. And what was funny was one of my buddies who later he's passed away. He was a great friend of mine. He was younger than I, but he passed away from heart disease and stuff of that nature. He's a Black individual. I want to make sure I say it right because I've been corrected by two of the guys on this page that did not say African American. But anyway, he was a black man who was one that he kind of worked himself up. Like he had a college education, and he always wanted to be a police officer. He was a fabulous police officer. Anyway, so he worked at Target Security, and just like buying bourbon, you want to build relationships. So he reached out to me one night when I was heading home. He's like, "Hey, Jody, I got this person here wanting to buy a bunch of Sudafedrin." I'm like, "What do you mean a bunch? Like 3 or 4 like packets?" He's like, "No." He asked me, "Is this all I have?" I'm like, "Keep him there and let him
Ooh.
buy everything he can."
You know what that is.
Yeah. So
He's
he's
just
like,
got a little tickle in his throat. That's all.
yeah, really bad allergies.
It's
All right.
allergy
So,
thing. It's a little
yeah.
nasal
All
drip
30, all
thing.
30
That's
of
all
his
it
strokes.
is. That's all
All
it is,
30 of his
man.
strokes.
So
Right.
so anyway, it turned out to be a ginormous bust. He had literally a pallet of Sudafedrin in his car.
Jeez.
And he
Wow.
had anhydrous ammonia, which they used to separate and stuff like that, in the trunk. And we had to close down. And this is in Williamson County, Tennessee. So anyone that's ever been there, everyone there is special. Just ask them; they all tell you. But so they closed down the entire parking lot, and anyone who had a car there had to stay there until the feds came out there and deemed it safe to be there because of the anhydrous ammonia, mostly because it's corrosive material and stuff of that nature. So anyway, he called me about that, and I was like, let him leave. I'll meet him in the parking lot. So I'm like rolling up. I'm still putting on my uniform back on because I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I roll up and I see the car. He has it on video. He's telling me where the car is, and I walk up to the car. I've got my gun out, but I'm not being a prick with it because I've still like I've got it kind of feathered. I'm like, let's see what's going on. So as I roll up, he's literally sitting there with a strainer, separating the tabs in his car into the strainer. All right. And I'm like, so I just went ahead and just stuck the gun to the car, and I'm like, hey, we need to get out and talk, you and I. And so he does. He gets out. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm making meth. I mean, he just said it just like that. I'm making meth. I'm like, in the car? I'm like, he goes, well, I already have a bunch. I'm just making a bunch more.
He must have been high already.
Yeah, oh, he was. And so he was pretty cool with me. I mean, he went to jail. He was pretty cool. I put him back in the car. Well, like 20 minutes into the arrest, and there's so much drugs there that I ended up working for the next 24 hours. Like I didn't so I've already been on a 12-hour shift, and where I worked, it was already a 12-hour shift. So I had already been on a 12-hour shift. I was leaving. So I had already been on a 12-hour shift, and now I'm going on to a 24-hour shift. And so I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there talking to him, trying to inventory the car. All of a sudden his girlfriend walks up, and she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, who are you? And she's like, that's my boyfriend over there. I'm like, you got anything sharp in your pockets? Anything I need to know about? So this goes to the gloves. This is the reason why. And so she's like, no. Well, why would I have anything in my pockets? I'm like, I mean, you're missing
Did she sound like
five.
olive oil from Popeye?
Yeah. So I'm like, and she looked like her too. So anyhow, I put my sharps gloves on. I stick my hand down her pocket. I called for a female officer to come in to observe, and she did. And I stick my hand down her pocket just because you want to pull up the pocket, and you kind of want to pull it up slow and see what's in it, this, that, whatever. And sure enough, there was 2 open and jacked syringes in her pocket. And I look at her, I'm like, what do you mean you have nothing sharp in your pocket? What's your definition of sharp? And let me tell you what mine is. All right. Because I'm pretty sure those are sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
Just a little bit.
All right. Hey, listen, guys. 601, 701, 801, 801. Sorry. Who knows what time it is, because we just rolled back. We just rolled back time. So
It
yeah.
is 8 time.
Yeah. So it's Monday and it's 801. So anyway,
Anyway, Yeah. Go ahead.
So anyhow, it's all been fun. Always a great time. I always enjoy hanging out with my guys and
Indeed.
Mao. And
We miss you, Mal.
Yeah,
we
man.
do. And hey,
Be
and
good to
moving
yourself.
and
Damn
oh
it.
shit. Hold on a second.
I gotta double up.
All right. So Wednesday, we're gonna be doing we're just gonna have whatever you want to. But I would like to do something local from your area. What I would like to do as a show. All right. So, like for example, Billy, when we were doing stuff from like Western states, and you brought Horse Soldier, and you were like, it's got to be Western. That would actually be from Florida, so you'd have been okay. So I've been a local. So on Wednesday, by the way, we're moving our times on Wednesday to 8 p.m. is when it will be aired. But I'm doing something here local from the county I live in called Daddy Rag. Everything
Okay.
that goes into it is made here in Maury County. Everything. And I will tell you, I had a drink of it last night. It's unique. It's almost like Miles' Englishman experience. It's unique. All right. It's not bad. I don't want to make it sound like it's bad because it's not. And
Yeah.
the price point on it is solid.
Same.
It's a solid price point. I think it was $33 for it. It's a 3-year-old, and I'm looking forward to talking about it. Guys, this has been fun as always, and I love all you guys. And from me and Whiskey, the Bourbon Fuel Mule, good night. Be safe.
Cheers, my brothers.
And always act responsibly. Cheers.
Indeed. Peace and blessings.
Oh.